Hi, my name is Dave Hackett, and you're here at my house today for a little skateboard history lesson. So what I'm holding here is called a scooter skate. So this is basically how the first skateboards were made. And this really predates the surf skate era. You know, a lot of people thought, well, you know, skateboarding was invented by only Californians in California who were surfers. Well, I actually know that even back east they used to make these things, which are called scooter skates, and basically they would take like some old roller skate wheels, attach them to a piece of 2x4, and then build a little handle here. And nowadays you see, you know, kids riding in the skate parks with a much more newer version of this, but essentially it's a scooter skate. And what happened, this one is actually pretty interesting because this was a kit that you could buy, and you can see from the sticker here, this is called Skate Scooter Sports Club. So this is from A.H. Schwab and Company. This is the AJ brand scooter skate. So somebody actually manufactured this back in probably the 1930s. And what happened was, you know, these things, after a lot of riding and a lot of ripping and tearing, this handle would come off, and what you would be left with is basically a skateboard, which ended up being a lot like this. So this piece right here, this is an actual real first skateboard. This is somebody's sister's roller skates. This is the toe piece. This is the tail piece or the heel piece. And it's bolted to just a little piece of wood. I mean, this is a relic, really. And this is the beginning of skateboarding right here. Metal wheels. I mean, this is basically a Flintstone death trap. But it is a skateboard, and it is very cool. I don't know how much it's worth, but to me, it's worth millions. So, let me take you down history lane here, because shortly after that, in the 1960s, guys would take a really nice piece of, this is mahogany, and shape a really cool board, and take their Super Surfer, Hobie Super Surfer wheels and trucks, and mount them to their own custom board. And that's what this era is. This is probably late 60s. Yeah, late 60s. And then after this era, you've got what's called the plastic wheel era, or the urethane wheel. This isn't a plastic, this is actually urethane wheels. And these are Roller Sports urethane racing slicks on the back here, which are a lot wider than these, which are Roller Sports urethane Mark IVs. So it's kind of like the slicks in the back, the thin wheels in the front, kind of a hot rod type of thing. And this is actually an old Makaha board. You can see that the Makaha sticker used to be here. And this is a pretty cool board for the time and for the era. And then shortly after that, into the surf decade of the late 60s and early 70s, this is really kind of like a Jerry Lopez inspired skateboard. It's got your wingers here. You can imagine a single fin here. This is one of the very first kicktails. As you can see here, this is a glue-on kicktail. Very archaic and cryptic, but nevertheless, it did work. And these are Chicago trucks with, again, Roller Sports urethane racing slicks on the back. So this is really an awesome time capsule, and I'm very stoked to have this in my collection. A little bit after that, this is one of my own boards here. I made this in wood shop, and I've managed to hang on to it. And this also has urethane wheels, but they are not precision bearings. They have the loose ball bearings in here. As you can see, and I'm sure many of you that are watching this don't remember having to load these bearings into this wheel, but it certainly was an art form in and of itself. You used to have to take the wheel, put it on the axle, put it upside down like this, and kind of hold it at an angle, drop your 8 bearings in there, and then turn it over real quick, drop the other 8 bearings in there, put the bearing nut on, and then a washer, and then the lock nut on the top of that. It was a nightmare. But we did it because we knew how amazing it is to skateboard, even on one of these back then.